line will not be in place. You have to press the trend line very well. So on D1, you know where the market is heading to. On H4, H1, I use it for entry only. All right, I use it for entry. I use it to look for the sniper entry. That's why sometimes you look at my trade and it seems as if I enter the market when the market hasn't reached the price region yet. It's because what I use the lower time frame to gain entry. The higher time frame for your analysis, H4, H1 for your entries. You are looking for entries from these lower time frames. So on H4 again, you have to work on what? On your support, your resistance, and your trend line. The resistance is normal here. It's still the same thing, just a little adjustment. Just take it off a little. That is where the resistance is. Okay, then what else do we have? The support is still correct. The support is still correct. So we don't have problem with the support. Support is correct. That's good. So now on H4, what we are actually looking for is to look for entry. And remember I said the time frame will affect our trend line. So we might need to just, place it very well again. Okay. Okay, there we go. And that is it. So on H4 right now, I've just placed the trend line well, get a new support and a new resistance. So you see that it is clearer when I viewed from the D1 time frame. Everything was just, perfect and correct. So when you come to the lower time frame, you are looking for stop loss, where to put your stop loss and where to put your take profit points. But already from the higher time frame, you know where the market is heading to. The smaller time frame is to just give you entries. So I think we should take another chart now. But before then, I would love to take questions from this particular chart. I want you to look at this chart, ask all the questions you have. After you've, asked all the questions you have, I answered questions at least for the next 10, 20 minutes. Then I will use the remaining 10 to 20 minutes to do some other things on the chart. So who has question at this point so we can treat it before we go further?
Boss.
I'm with you, sir. Good evening.
Boss, I have a question, please.
Okay, we are listening.
Boss, like you said, after making the analysis on day one, that when I get back to H1 on a smaller time frame, that is H4 and H1, those are the two key ways to get a perfect entry, sniper entry. Now, I think, boss, after I've done analysis in D1 and it indicates that the market is buying, just like the Australian Canadian dollar, you just showed us right now in the class. So now, let's say, assuming now, as I realize the market is buying on H1 and I have reached my TP1 point, what I have to do is to come to H4 and look carefully, closely what is happening, then take my entry with H4, or after it breaks the trend line of H4, then I take my entry.
Okay, now, are you talking about entry from the present line, that particular red line, or you are talking about the support line? Is it the blue line or the red line? Which of them? Come again, please.
Yeah, I'm talking about, and in the chat, there is a trend line that was broken. So at the resistance point, the first TP point, which is I think resistance point. So now immediately, like the trend line was about to reach our first TP point after it was broken. So immediately it reached that level, it's time to monitor a new entry.
Yeah. Okay, your network is bad, but let me
I want to enter the trade time to make the snap big at times.
I can barely hear you. Okay, but let me assume I understand what you are trying to ask, the question you're trying to ask. If I understand it very well, you're trying to make inquiry or ask relating to the next entry, which is at 0.93722, where our red line is placed. Now, for us to gain entry from that red line, for either a sell or a buy signal, one of these two things must happen. It is either the candlestick closes at that particular line or it breaks it out. Now, if the candlestick should close at that line, respecting it, telling you that, see, this line is too solid, I can't break it out. It means we are going for a sell. And the sell we are going for, our take profit point will be at what? At the trend line. That's the entry point. That is where the take profit for the sell signal will be, the TP1. That is where it will be. But if the candlestick should break that red line, if the candlestick should break that red line, it means we are going for a buy signal. And this buy signal we have taken, the take profit will be around those points. This is our next significant point. So if they can break out the first red line, we are heading straight to the second red line. That will be our TP2. But if they cannot break the first red line, we are selling again. And if we are selling, our TP, that's if we are selling the market because there was loss of momentum and the market couldn't break out, our TP1 will be at this point. Let me change the color to something else. Oh, I mistakenly deleted it. This is where our TP will be, just in case the red line is respected. Okay? If it is respected, our TP will be, let's change this to maybe black. Done. All right? So it means that, okay, if this red line that the market is approaching now is broken, we are heading to the next red line that will be our TP2. But if the market lost its power to break the line is approaching now, the red line is approaching now, it means we might experience a pullback all the way down to the black line. And if it breaks the black line, the next point of interest will be where it will be forming a head and what? An inverse head and shoulder, which is at this point, this region. That is exactly where it will be forming the head, the inverse head and shoulder. That is if only the market respects the red line is actually approaching now, break the black line, which is the next support, then we are heading towards the next point, which is around 0.91487. Closing around that point will form an inverse head and shoulder, which will indicate a new entry for a buy signal. And once we buy from there, the black point will be our TP1, the red point will be our TP2, and the second red will be our TP3. I hope you understand that now. So knowing all this means once the market closes at that red line, then you now go to H4 to look for how the market is actually performing on that H4. Once you know how it is going on H4, if there's been a breakout, because before D1, before the breakout will happen on D1, it must have happened on H4. See, whatsoever that you are experiencing on D1, you will see it clearly and faster on H4 and D1. So whatsoever position you are looking to secure, you will see it faster on H4 and H1. So once the D1 candlestick is approaching that red line, you go to H4 and see if there have been threats to break that particular line. Because if H4 has broken it, that means there is possibility for D1 to also follow suit. So your ability to use these smaller time frames will give you a higher position in the market. a very good position that will secure your equity and lead you into profit. So despite your D1, you know your D1, you've seen where the market is heading to. Your H4 and H1 is just for entries. Maybe they are forming double top on H4 or H1 or a new trend line and broken. You just look for little things to justify your entry on D1. That is just it. Nothing more. EL, please mute yourself. Oh. Thank you for that. All right, so I'll take another question from this point. Any other question? No questions. So I should move on, right? For some of you later now, you'll be asking me, hello. I don't understand what you said.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Please go ahead, I can hear you.
Good evening, sir. Sean, I want to know how you take those entries, what you look out for to take an entry on the 4 hours and the 1 hour time frame.
I don't know why, but your voice is breaking. Hello. And I can hear you. I can barely hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you a bit now. How's it clear? Go ahead, go ahead. Where is it? James, I can hear you now. What is happening to your network? Okay, while we are waiting for Mr. James Steven, please, Usman Wasiu, please go ahead.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Evening.
I really the lesson is really interesting, sir. Sir, at that go up at the lowest point, can someone enter a buy order there?
A buy position, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you don't have any reason to enter the market for a buy at that particular point. Remember, we are looking at only the region with quarantine. And from the region with quarantine, we can say, okay, the market is forming a double top, double bottom, or is at the resistance or anything, except we want to what? Pick interest in the past history. So if we look back in time, you can say it was actually a good entry. You can actually enter from that point if you are looking back in time. Not too constant. That particular point is not too constant. Looking at the chart from the back. But remember, we are not even interested. See, I'm scattering the line already. So let's place the blue line here and see what it looks like in the future. Can you see anything? Mr. Wasiu?
Yes, sir.
So if we go by what you want us to check now, you will see that that particular point, you could actually have taken the trade from there if only you also take a look at the weekly time frame. Merely changing it to the weekly time frame, you can see everything just fits in. There is no oversize there. it turned its way up. Immediately it arrived the previous resistance that was turned support.
Yes, sir.
From here, that blue line is actually a resistance. And after the breakout here, there was a pullback. And remember, it's now a support. So the market respected it and it's heading back upwards again. And remember the red line we say is our take profit. Now look at this point and see why, despite not looking at the chart up to this point, we actually got the point at which we are expecting the market to arrive. The red line. The red line is also a TP point. All right, so looking at the weekly time frame, you would have gotten an entry from the exact spot the market turned from. That's why I see the best time to analyze the market is during weekend. Then select the market you want to trade over the weekend and then begin to look for positions. Look for entries and secure 1 or 2 or 3. But the best time to analyze the currency market is during the weekend. The market is sleeping and you can analyze as much market as you want. I hope you understand.
One more
now.
question. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Go ahead.
Can your broker manipulate the market?
Your broker can manipulate the market. Yes. All they just have to do is to maybe increase their spread.
Okay.
So if they increase their spread, that means in the night now, sometimes you see some spread is as high as 15 pips. Meaning,
yes, sir.
the trade you set at 30 pips lost can just hit your stop loss with the spread, just the spread alone, not the move of the market. They cannot actually change the price of the market, but they can manipulate your stop loss so that it will be hit as fast as possible. So that is why we always want to make use of brokers that are regulated, brokers that have history, not all these, upcoming traders. Though they have mouth-watering offers, but believe me, you don't want to joke with them. So you have to be careful with your broker and make sure most of your trade, you don't enter them in the night, because usually in the night, usually have huge spread. So it's very, very important that you always take positions during the day. It's very, very important. When the spread is what? Is a bit in a good, at least good rate, then you can take it from there, because the brokers have the right to select the spread they want, but they don't have the right to manipulate the price of the market. But they can use the spread to quickly hit your stop loss or delay the market movement from your end. So while dollar is trading at 5,000, as 500 naira somewhere, your broker can actually, use your spread to take it at 450 or 470, depends. So go ahead. I think you have more questions, right?
Yesterday I took a trade around 1 in the afternoon, and the trade is doing well. Before around 10 at night yesterday, the spread is really large. So later go back, the red line later go back and get my stop loss, and instead of me to.
You said? You said instead of you to what? Yeah. Okay. Okay. If I understand what you are saying now, you are talking about the two price lines, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The two price line is actually the buying price and the selling price.
Yes, sir.
And the buying price is the blue line, while the selling price is the red line.
Yes, sir.
Now, when the spread is higher in the night, they will give each other more space. So if you are selling, the red line will be farther from the blue line, which means the red line will be going for what? For your take profit. If you are selling, while the blue line will be going for your stop loss. So even if you get to your take profit first, the blue line must also touch your take profit before you are kicked out of the market. The way they use to manipulate or delay your take profits and fasten your stop loss, you just increase the spread. So the gap now between buying price and selling price will be so high that your stop loss will be very close. That is why in the night, if I'm on a trade, if it is a good trade, what I'll just do is to just adjust my stop loss to give it a good distance. So even when they threaten my position, it doesn't hit my stop loss.
Wow.
They are very weekend in the night because they know most of the traders might be sleeping or must have slept off. So that's the best time to weekend us. We'll get used to that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right,
sir.
so any other person?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, you please go on.
All right. First, I want to thank you for the class. You have really done justice to so many things. My question is, we wait to take entries on 4 hours and on 1 hour. So I want to know what you look out for to take out an end to take that 4 hours or 1 hour entry. Like for instance, we break out. So after the breakout, we wait for a pullback. So as the market is selling,
okay.
so pulling back
your network is also breaking
to that trend line, and perhaps the 1 hour, the daily can take entry from there. We will now go to a lower time frame to take entry. So what do we look out for in a lower time frame, like the 4 hours or the 1 hour, before taking the entry? That's my question.
Seriously, your voice is just coming on and off, maybe due to the network. But just take the question the way I understand it. And if you don't get it clearly, maybe you can just use the chat section. All right, so now when you know where the market is heading on D1, when you know where the market is heading, it's easy for you to actually look for entry points. Why? Because when you go to H4, you already know what you are looking for. You are different from somebody that is coming to look if the market is a sell or a buy. When you know the market is a buy from D1, then you look for entry point of a buy position from H4. You are no longer just analyzing the market, you're analyzing the market to see an entry for the buy signal. Now, from this point right now, let's look at the blue line and see if the H4 time frame can actually give us something significant to reckon on. Okay, so let me just balance the trend line and then go to H1 for instance. Go to H1 for instance, then look at the blue line. We are the blue line right now, okay? So now, let's assume we were looking for entry from this trade right now, okay? We are looking for entry and we know it's a buy. So we are now looking for something that will confirm to us that what the trade is ready to buy. So on H1 will make it too long. So let's look at H4. Let's look at H4. Over here on H4, we have an inverse head and shoulder around this region. Already we have a buy signal here. This is a buy signal here, right? This is a buy signal here. So the D1 now, from D1, you already know where the market is heading to, and all you need to do is to what? Is to look for the buy entry or look for buy confirmation from what? From the H4 time frame. So the inverse head and shoulder confirm to you that you have a buy signal coming your way from D1. Despite the fact that the daily time frame hasn't closed yet, while you're waiting for the daily time frame, the H4 time frame already gave you what? Entry. So you can leverage on this sniper entries from H4 so you can get the market from the best position. All you are looking for from H4 is just entry for what you've seen from D1. If you saw from D1 that the market is going to sell, that means you are going to H4 to look for a sell signal. You are looking for maybe a double bottom, a double bottom or an inverse head and shoulder. You're just looking for something that will confirm to you that the market is ready to buy, despite the fact that the day is not over yet. You are looking for a quick entry. So the smaller time frame is to guide you on getting what? Sniper entries. We have any other question from the chat? We have about 6 minutes left, please. Please, let's just fasten up with the questions so we can maybe call it a day. Maybe we can do one of this. We'll continue tomorrow. We still have a class tomorrow, so we can continue from where we stop tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are just going to use RSI to further, explain technical analysis, because that's the only indicator that I've used over the years that I know, yes. So some extent it is efficient. So if we have any other question, please, let's bring it on. We have just 6 minutes at the end of this session.
Boss.
Yeah?
I have one question. Please, boss. Hello, boss. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please go on.
Hello.
I can hear you. Please go on.
There's one thing I want to ask. Assuming, let's say now,
what is happening to everyone's network now?
TP1. Okay, assuming now I paste my TP1. Assuming immediately, then the resistance line, when it was about to broken, so I was like monitoring the trade. I realized that before it breaks, when price reaches my resistance line, it decided to respect it. Like, let's say when it was buying, it decided to form a bearish candle without breaking the resistance line. That means I should lock in my profit immediately once I spot such.
Of course, yes. If the candlestick is not able to break it and it's closing, respecting, let me show you what respecting means. Respecting here is something that is also in this chart. Look at this. This is respect to that line. These are all respect. So once any of these happen, you close your position and wait for a breakout. Your voice is breaking.
What
your network is just so bad. You might have to ask that question maybe tomorrow.
All right, my network was bad. Just got back now into the.
Okay, yeah, really sorry for that. Though it's recorded, so at the end of the class, we will still have access to the record.
Okay, boss.
Okay, somebody said we should quickly look for Euro USD. I have an entry going on it. I should leave the entry or close it. Maybe you should just pull back. All right, Euro USD, if you take it from the point at which Farouk actually dropped the signal, then you are still in a safe hand. So let's check Euro USD before the end of this class. Euro USD, what's up with you? All right, we have Euro USD on the window. So you should quickly look at the chart and see what you can get. Okay. Euro USD. Wasiu, I don't know what is your position in this market, but this is where we are. Around here. This is where we are in this market. So the pullback is not shaking us yet, but it is still a pullback. It is still a pullback, but I don't know how far it would last, but it is a pullback. Mr. Ashu, I don't know your position, but after this class, just send a screenshot to me. Let me see your position. So I'll let you know.
I want to know, maybe I should continue, I should leave the order to continue going. Maybe it will, because I set my take profit to 50 pip and my stop loss 20 pip. So now it has already moved more than 10 pip now. So I'm now waiting, maybe it's going.
Mr. Ashu, I want to know your position first in this market. Okay, so at the end of the class, send me a screenshot. So before I sleep, I will check on it and let you know your stand, if you should close it or leave it running.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, so thank you very much, everyone. It's glad to have you all here. It's been an amazing class. So tomorrow again, catch me here. Let's see how far we can go. Good night, everyone.
All right, thanks.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good night, boss. More grace to your elbow.
Amen, amen, amen.